Hello and happy Friday. Today is not a real engineered video. It's just going to be kind of a Jackdaw update. And, every now and then that's just what I got to do. Oh boy, Stacy, I'm coming for that annual haircut. It's out of control. So, I'm wrapping up my time here in San Francisco. Been here, by the time I leave, I'll have been here a little over 6 months. And the whole point of being here for the whole winter was to really build those relationships with local agencies here, shelters. And I've really built a substantial one with one shelter in particular. And I've talked to several others and gotten nowhere. It's been really interesting. So there's just one shelter I shoot for here, and they're happy to have me every time, I'm in town and available. And so it's interesting, it's been kind of hard to accept because I absolutely love San Francisco and I'd like to spend, my winters here until I have enough patron support to travel more in the winter. But the reality is, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's still, old COVID concerns, but the big shelters that, I thought I'd be shooting for happily down here that would love it, they just aren't going for it. Maybe next year, we'll see, But next winter, I'm going to spend a couple months here on my way down south. Then I'm going to go down to San Diego area and try our luck down there with getting into shelters to do portraits for families for the deep winter, like January, December. Then I'll swing back up north, spend a couple months in San Francisco. Of course, I'll shoot for Life Moves, which is the agency here I've shot for a few times now. And, just keep building on it. And, learn the lesson, and who knows, maybe it'll come around next year. I'm not sure. But I'm just a couple weeks away from heading north, back to the northwest, Seattle area, and I have a bunch of shelters I shoot for up there. So we'll be busy this summer with that. And I've also had to remind myself, the reality is, I'm still recovering a bit from the damage COVID did to my respiratory system. And I lost 3 months due to that. It was a rough go, where everything stopped as far as, trying to work out Jackdaw stuff. So anyway, sometimes you have to just take a breath, be gentle on yourself, and just say, hey, okay, so next time it'll break open, hopefully. Hopefully. But there's never really any guarantee of that with any new venture you're trying, especially when you're doing something so radically hard for some folks to accept and believe. It can be hard to get going. It took a long while in Seattle to get it going, but I was there all year round when I started, so I think that helped. Anyway, I'm learning my lessons and just going to keep rolling on. I am excited to get rolling again. It's been it's been interesting to not travel much this winter. It was mostly because of my illness, but even so, I really, the funds are getting a little leaner, as time goes on, because I'm dinging retirement every month to keep this going. So I am looking down the road at okay, how can I make it last? And that means very careful travel. I can't just woohoo anymore. Not if I want this to make it into my true retirement era where I have Social Security to add to patronage and I have my state pension to add to patronage. So I got about 4 years, a little over 4 years to go to make it to that. So I'm trying to be smart about it. Anyway, so I guess the update would be roll with it, learn the lessons and believe what you're being shown, accept it even if it's not something the way you want it to be. You have to accept it and say, okay, so that's not being received right now, or this isn't for me in particular, and accept that, somebody else has decided that too. Like in all things, we have to accept the things that are beyond our control and not just grind away at it like, oh, someday it's gonna. No, your time is precious. And, definitely give it a go. Give it your full heart's go at whatever you try. But you also need to read the landscape and realize, okay, I'm not really making progress up that trail. There's just something not working, so let's try another trail, and shift. You got to be flexible. And so, it was a real good lesson that way, you know. And I got a lot of time with my daughter, which was great because she lives here. I love getting to spend time with Asia. But I am excited to get back up north where my son lives, get to spend time with him too. So, time in San Francisco is wrapping up this time around, and it's been really good. I've learned so much this year. This winter here has been a game changer for me and my path, and then self-acceptance, and also just learning how to be flexible, because you got to be when you're trying totally different new things. You got to accept that it'll be uncomfortable, you're going to fail in some ways, but you're going to learn from those failures. So it's never a loss as long as you hear the message, really internalize it, and shift and change as you go forward. In any case, it was a real joy to do portraits for all those families that we created portraits for last weekend. That is just, it fills my heart so much, and as one of the things I'm really excited about getting back to Seattle, because I have so many agencies I work with there, and that's just a hoot. Anyway, wishing you all a great weekend, and all my PNW folks, be seeing you soon. Take good care of yourselves.